Hello! Welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we're continuing our playthrough of the Two-Headed Serpent. Yep. And you can get your own copy of this tome from Chaosium.com, both physical and digital formats. Pretty handy. You can find all of the VODs of the sessions we've done previously over on the Chaosium YouTube channel, and we do stream live each week at Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. And additionally, the whole cast is going to be present at PAX Oz in October for a live game. It's going to be the 8th, I believe, at 8 p.m. So if you'd like to join us, come and see us there. And otherwise, it will also be being streamed live on the PAX Twitch channel.
But it won't be the same.
No. Wait, it won't be the same. Oh, no, it won't be this channel. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh no, I was from an experience point of view, it just won't be the same. No, you got to be there.
You got to come to the live show.
You have to get a ticket to Australia, and you have to come all the way down here. As always, thank you to Sirenscape and Roll20 for being tools that we use to improve our game. And without further ado, let's return to our story. So where we left it off, the four of you have gathered in the Caduceus headquarters, where you've been giving the inner circle briefing, welcomed into their mythos operating dynamic task force, and you've all signed on to join your handler, Mr. Shapiro, on your next mission, where you'll be traveling across to North Borneo. But before we jump into the next chapter, the next episode, let's introduce each of our investigators, and in the context of you've spent the whole day in a slightly sweaty room, going over documents, getting a little bit haggard, and probably looking forward to having a little rest come evening. Art, would you like to introduce Carter first?
Hi, I'm Art. I don't know why it surprised me that I was going first. It happens every week, but there we are. I am playing Lieutenant Aries Carter. I don't know what to say about them that we haven't already heard. They're great. They apparently sometimes are just really mean to people for reasons I do not yet understand. Also, they are somehow dad. I also don't understand how that's happened, but we're here now. Carter is very likely, not really struggling with this kind of thing, given that, mission briefings and, looking at things from a tactical angle are stuff that they've done a lot of, whether that was field work or what they spent a fair amount of their time doing, which is recruit training. So this kind of just feels a lot like a schoolroom again, I suspect, to some extent. They're taking dear Hubert through the intricacies of tactical considerations, and also making sure that they don't lose their fingers to hawks again.
Perfect. Well, that's an easy one. Speaking of hawks, Jackson, can you please introduce Dr. Sam?
Hey, I'm Jackson. I'm playing Dr. Samuel Tatum Thompson, who has the pop talent that allows him to have a falcon companion. And he's having a great old time. I made too big of a deal about that. I'm sorry. Yes, Dr. Sam has been processing the recent revelations that there's a whole new people in the middle of the earth, and he's going to do his best to help them, because that's what he does. He's a helper.
Perfect. Don't have a transition from people in the middle of the earth to Hubert. So James, can you introduce Hubert for us?
Okay, all right. Well, much like the Earth itself, Hubert is so large and strong that people orbit around him. There we go. No, Hubert, the extra large bon vivant with a heart of gold, is really not that seemingly bothered by everything. He has a kind of unflappable friendliness and cheerfulness around him. So although he's a little sweaty from being stuck in this room all the time, he's been amusing himself by trying to figure out reverse pincer maneuvers and just sort of going through it. Whether that's a little bit of denial, possibly, but also just symbolic of a a mindset that's very suited to combating the mythos.
Fantastic. And speaking of mindset suited to mythos in investigation, got it. Alex, could you please introduce Minnie?
100% did get it. I am Alex. I'm playing Wilhelmina St. Clair, Minnie, who is, instead of being worn down by this long day studying materials, is in fact amped the hell up. She's been reading books and information and packets about this these two sects of beings who don't like each other, and one of them likes us even less. The tactical angle of it has not interested her terribly much, but the language. So she is probably a little bit more hyperactive than anybody else as we are exiting the building, and is just running her mouth a mile a minute about how fascinating the language is, and how it's just. It's truly incredible to see the way that they construct the sentences, and she's sure that just with a little bit more study, she'd actually be able to communicate with these aliens. Really, very fascinating.
Only person who gets a sugar rush off reading books.
I'll have a notebook out which I'm flipping open, continuously asking you how to say sorry, how to say help, how to say stop eating my leg.
Leave my hamster alone. Yeah. So, speaking of leaving then, that works pretty well. Do the four of you want to depart from the office and get dinner or something and have a chance to debrief amongst yourselves? Or do you intend to basically jump into the briefing? Shapiro's got the packets ready to go and can let you know what your next mission will be. He's also said that this is pretty urgent and that you'll probably be leaving tomorrow morning once you've had a chance to prepare. Which the four of you?
I'll immediately push everybody to all go and get dinner at a fancy restaurant. I think that'll be tons of fun. I know a place. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So
Delightful.
You've been given a couple hours, so you're going to have to hurry, but Hubert knows goods places all throughout New York, so it's just a matter of finding the closest one. Hubert, I'll pass across to you. What's the sort of location you'd find that you think will suit the four investigators and Falcon?
Well, assuming that everybody is keen, I think that I probably don't pick the most suitable location. I'd probably just get overexcited about the fact that we're all going out. Pick something that's a little bit too far away, and it's a little bit of a hassle to get into. But New York, right? So I'm picturing
way too fancy.
Yeah. Well, I picture we end up in the middle of some, big high-ceilinged room with a view over the city. Maybe I don't think molecular gastronomy or whatever was really a thing back in the 1930s, but we end up ordering like food that's a little over-engineered, and I like the picture of Hubert just assuming we all get there, not really addressing everything. Like he's talking about the food. He's just sort of not going over the fact that we're all about to jump on a plane and head overseas to go and fight some monsters.
How does everyone else handle it? Everyone else enjoys Hubert's selection of meal?
Oh, absolutely. Anytime, like just absolutely shoveling it in. Again, Minnie spends most of her money on rent in a place that is conveniently close to a library, so she's mostly a beans on toast gal.
Food always tastes better when you don't pay for it.
Absolutely true.
Carter enjoys the meal. Keeps up conversation, but also because of who they are and what they do, has eyes on all the exits and would like to know if the person who's been following them has followed them with the group.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason that Carter agreed to go out.
Yeah, sure. So by the time you arrived at this restaurant, as Jim was saying, Hubert kind of took you a little bit too far, and you've only got about an hour and change before you have to get back for the briefing if you're going to make it in time. So by the time you're seating and Hubert's pouring over the wine list, everyone else is kind of be like, okay, come on, we need to get ordering stuff. We need to get plates. Bring it all out as it's ready. Let's load up.
Carter is used to military mess halls. This is a luxury.
Oh, absolutely.
They also don't have to be in mess halls anymore and haven't in a while, but an hour to sit and have a meal, Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. You don't get the full hour. By the time you arrive and everything, it's all a bit rushed, but it's excellent. The service is wonderful. The food is charming, and Hubert has scored another goal for the knowledge of Manhattan and the area surrounds. As you leave, coming back out the other side and through the large sort of revolving doors and onto the street, you have to hoof it back down to the subway and then across to Chaosium. Lieutenant Carter, you're sort of lagging a little bit, just trying to sort of keep your head on a swivel and see if you can spot anyone that's been following you. You haven't had the feeling of being watched while you made your way there, but it doesn't hurt to be cautious. Could you go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll?
I certainly can. No.
As I said, I mean, you no sense of anyone following you, at least. And out here amongst the crowds heading down towards the subway, this is like rush hour. You know, there's tons of people coming and going, and you're almost constantly seeing people moving past and brushing into you, chances to get close, chances to slip away. It's a tactical nightmare, but you keep the four together. And every now and then when you get off the train, you do the thing where you wait just a little bit too long for the doors to close so you get across quickly and no one could follow you off immediately. You don't believe you're being followed. Did you want to clarify something, Jim?
I have something I'll do at the last minute.
Okay, well, you're returning to Chaosium if you want to do it before
cool.
arrive back for the briefing.
So I really think that I wait till we've sort of gone through all the trains, headed out, and we're just about to head down like the street towards Chaosium. So we've really got, 2 minutes to have a conversation, and when there really isn't enough time to get into detail about things, I'll ask. So, what do any of you know about North Borneo? You know, the where we're ostensibly headed. Minnie, you read about it before? Because we have been told the location. I know you did it kind of in the epilogue of last. Yeah.
You would have been given a sense of it.
Yes, but it really depends on the particular the particular area. It's like many places in the region. There's a little bit of contention on people, that sort of thing. It really depends on the very specific area in which we're going.
Carter's going to interrupt as this is happening and go, do you really think this is the correct place and time to have this conversation in public?
You're right. Maybe we should wait till we get inside. Very happily take the excuse to not have to think about what's coming and continue strolling forward towards the officers.
Is North Borneo somewhere I might have been before? Been deployed?
Possibly. It's a British influence, and yes, you are, right? There's a chance I was thinking you're American for a moment. Yeah, there's a
with
chance
this accent, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's right. You could make a luck roll, I think, suits.
Sure.
It's gonna be hard for the level of information. You could be familiar with it.
Sure. I mean, I'm happy even if it's just like I have a passing. If I succeed, I've been to North Borneo. If hard success, I've been to the area we're going to, or something like that, if that works. Yeah, okay, cool, perfect. I've been there.
Yeah, so you could have gone there and worked with there's the North Borneo Chartered Company is what you're going to be going there to assist with. And you could have been stationed there for a time. You would have served under one Captain Lancaster. He's a British Army commander, and he's also an absolute fuck. You would never speak ill of an officer, but this dude earns it.
This dude sucks.
Oh, this dude for sure sucks. You probably were pretty eager to not serve under him any further. And going back, I mean, North Borneo itself was an interesting place to serve for a period, but the chance
there's a reason that I went into training rather than active service.
Oh yeah.
One too many times of putting despots one too many times of putting despots on thrones they didn't deserve. Not a fan.
It occurs to me that this is also somewhat closer to the good doctor's stomping ground. You know, obviously there's a pretty big distance between
just half an ocean.
It's a small one though.
Well, in the grand scope of areas you usually go to in a game of Call of Cthulhu, this is practically next door.
Well, that's right. And Dr. Sam has been traveling around, I think, globe hopping a fair bit to put his ultralight aircraft through its paces.
That's true.
But I don't mind if everywhere we happen to visit in this campaign is his first time there, so we get all fresh data and fresh experiences.
I mean, as you said, you have done sort of flying doctor thing, but international flying doctor for quite some time. There's a chance if you're interested. Do you want to make a luck roll to see if you could have worked in North Borneo as well before, or do you want to leave this one to
Jackson? I'll remind you as well that we decided that because we've known each other for a while, but the reason we've kept in contact is because we keep accidentally being in the same place at the same time.
That's right,
so it'd be really interesting if this was if we ran into each other.
That's pretty.
Let's have a look. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So you could have been through here before. You weren't there for very long, but you might have.
There you go.
Stopped. It could have possibly been visiting. Oh no, it's more of a bump-in sort of situation. You might have stopped in to make repairs as you were heading up towards, Vietnam or something, or heading north. Yeah, it's feasible that you could have stopped in, so you'd be familiar with the region a little bit.
There you go.
The local temperate.
I'll take it.
We exchange letters and then just so happens, oh, you're in North Borneo. I'm in North Borneo. We should get a drink. Catch up.
Smaller world than it seems.
Been 2 years since the last time this happened.
I think that I'll seize on this moment to say that apart from the areas that he's been to with Cataseus, Hubert has not been anywhere that didn't have a 5-star restaurant in the 1930s. Why would you go?
You've done a lot of hiking and things, haven't you?
That's true, but you go to a base camp first.
Yes,
you hike the Rockies, but stop by at somewhere nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So heading back in through the doors and up through it's not super secret lift, but definitely the secured lift to floor 17, you will meet once again with Quentin, who has spread a couple of packets out across the meeting room. And we'll draw your attention to each of them. Each is labeled with the North Borneo tag and a sticker beneath which reads "to action immediately." He will thank you all for coming and says, "I appreciate you keeping your dinner short. I know it's been a long day, but this is urgent. There are people who need help, and we think that this may be actions caused by the inner night. We are traveling to North Borneo. There is a company there, the North Borneo Chartered Company, which have directly contacted us looking for assistance. There is what appears to be a highly infectious disease spreading throughout the region. It bears similarities to hepatitis, but where hepatitis takes 2 weeks for symptoms to develop and then 8 weeks for death. Symptoms have been spotted 2 days. Symptoms have been developing very quickly, and deaths have started following only 2 days after. This coincides with what we believe may be a biological weapon developed by the Inner Night, and either being tested there or being used for some dark reasons. We don't know what their intent is, but we know that these people need help and that there may be Inner Night presence there. So we're going to travel down, see what we can find, and put a stop to it.
And to clarify, they got in contact with Cataseus, given its role as an aid organization.
As an aid organization, that's right.
So this group, there's no contacts on the ground who have any idea of the true purpose.
No, not. They believe this to just be a sickness, possibly a particularly virulent strain. They themselves aren't certain. They've set up a temporary quarantine around the area, and they're hoping to keep it contained before it heads down to one of the larger, an actual city. Currently, it's up in the mountains now, around Mount Kinabalu, but there's a town not far from there that, if it spreads into and is as infectious as it appears to be, could be incredibly dangerous.
Is Captain Lancaster still in charge?
I've read about him.
Yes.
I didn't mean to say that with disdain. I'm sorry. I don't.
Yes, Captain Lancaster is in charge of the area, and he's one of the people setting up the quarantine zone. He won't be our first point of contact, but he'll be there to meet us. He's set up the landing strip, and we'll have a local guide being organized. But Lancaster has authority in the region. We're going in there to assist him and his team.
I've read about. I mean, he's been in the papers, and
Captain Lancaster is a functional commander. He is in charge of this area and will tread carefully while we're in his jurisdiction, but...
Understood. Speaking of treading carefully, we're being brought in as an aid organization. What is it that the people on the ground are expecting us to ostensibly be doing? I mean, I know what our mission is, but what is the exact nature of our cover?
They are expecting doctors to come in, help the ill, study the disease, and diagnose where we can. Which is also our intent. We just have a few layers deeper of investigation to conduct.
More information. Yes.
Are some other folks coming with us then?
No more. We don't want to risk exposure. We don't want to bring in people that aren't folded in. This could be dangerous, and at this point, this isn't something we want to open up our mundane doctors to. We're also going to be bringing in some more advanced technology than you might be familiar with. And at this point, he heads across to a case, which is towards the side. It's quite large. It'll be about up to his hip, all wooden boxed, and the lid of it hasn't been sealed yet, so he's able to pry it open and lower it down. And inside you find what looks like a very expensive coffee machine, with a bunch of tubes winding around it and things. There's like pipettes popping out, and it's immediately like not human technology. Someone's screwed with something else. But you can see human adjustments made. There's like, little nozzles and whizzers and zongles all across it. And right up the top of it, there's a number of funnels which have opened up and contain sort of like petri dishes. He explains that this is a viral analyzer. It's adopted from Serpent people tech, which we've been able to retroactively understand, and if we can get enough samples, we believe this may be able to identify what's affecting the people. It may also help us with diagnosing a cure and putting a stop to it. Now, unfortunately, it's a little hard to interpret, and it does come with several manuals, and he looks across to it's almost larger crate next to it, which you can see has like white binders numbered like A01, and it probably goes all the way down to Z23, which once flipped open, each one is an entry where it reads like 00001, common flu, 00002, something much worse. This machine will give us a number once it's identified it accurately, and then we need to interpret it, and we need to figure it out from there. So it still requires a doctor's hand, and but it's a helpful tool, and we think it'll help us in this particular case. Dr. Sam, if you do the honors, I'll trust this with you to function and interpret.
I'll do some homework.
If there's a moment, I'll say that Herbert's gone across to the book, picked it up, and sort of flicked through it, and maybe flicked right to the back where all the worst diseases are, and kind of got a little scared. Shut the book again. I'll turn to Dr. Sam and say, "Do we need to be, wearing quarantine gear or something like that? Is there a chance that we're going to get sick?"
Well, I guess it depends on how it spreads.
It'd be best to be safe, and this would be your information immediately, Dr. Sam, would be you'll expect to wear like gloves and masks throughout the thing, and you'll go through the basics of like avoid any fluids and direct contact. That said, we are a good 80 years behind in PPE, so it'll probably run a little fast and loose, but functionally it'll be masks, gloves, avoid direct contact where possible, and no long exposure. Clean things regularly, that sort of stuff. That said, this is the sort of thing you've done before, which is flying into places where, there's a disease going through and helping out the people. And oftentimes, exposure can be minimized. There's always a chance of things. And if this is as dangerous as it suggests, it could be quite worrying. But
there are things we can do, give us the best chance of staying safe, and that's all we can do.
And just for the full scope of clarity on what we can do once we hit the ground, obviously help people where we can, but we're trying. What's our objective once we uncover? How do you know what information has led you to believe that there is a biological weapon? And assuming that we can find it, what's the goal beyond just sort of getting the information?
In the past, we've recovered fragments of text, and we've seen efforts by the Inner Night to effectively expunge the human race from the surface of the world. We believe this to be one of them. Biological warfare sits within their... it seems well suited to their needs, and the timing is suspicious, especially given our recent operations. Beyond that, though, there is a chance that this is unrelated, and if we realize that, then we will just help the people that are down there. But if we can identify the Inner Night, then, Mr. Smith, we will need to act accordingly, and as we see fit on the ground. The four of you are all capable and armed with the information of Caduceus's true function. You have the authority to act as you see fit. I'll be with you, functioning as handler once more, and there to offer insight and direction where possible. But truthfully, we can't plan for everything. We follow the smoke, and if there's fire, we put it out.
Right, but this isn't a call in the reinforcements once we,
You are the reinforcements.
find an answer. And happy to be it.
Dr. Sam is being paid to cure people. I'm being paid to deal with the ramifications of whatever this is. At least from the other side of the coin.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
You have the night to make any final preparations, and if you have any specific equipment you would have a source, let me know. Dr. Sam, I'll talk with you about whatever protective equipment we can put together to make sure that everything is ready. And we'll also, with your permission, I'll send a team out to fetch your flying machine and have it prepared for departure, so it can be brought onto the plane. Actually, the plane trip's probably not too far from where your place is, so they'll have it ready there, and then you can check over all of it in the morning, and then we'll fly out. Just let me know if there's anything else you would have a source.
Lieutenant or Minnie, quickly, if you two know this individual, this leader who you don't seem to be very fond of.
Oh, it's not that. I don't know. I've just read about him in the papers. He gets a little bit of. Well, there has been some. I read papers from all over the world. Not just here, and there has been some less than complimentary op-eds about the individual, about the man over the years.
No,
some concerning reports. That's all.
He was my commanding officer while I was in North Borneo, and he's very enthusiastic about his work.
Right. I often find that when you're dealing with people like that, the best thing to do is to get them on side as quickly as possible. Did he have a favorite whiskey? Something like that? Any information that we might be able to bring around to make sure that we get off on the right foot? We saw firsthand what kind of problems can arise when
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
He's the kind of person for whom you say, yes, sir, no, sir, sorry, sir, it won't happen again, sir, and otherwise you keep your mouth shut. And generally speaking, when you do that, he doesn't seem to mind you too much. I don't believe we had an acrimonious relationship when I was last there. I was deployed under him, I served, and then I decided I never wanted to do it again. But I don't believe we left on poor terms.
So no whiskey then. I'll try and think of a way that I can...
Try not to blather at him.
No blathering. Got it. I'm famously taciturn. Taciturn.
Famous.
Never said that word.
Taciturn. Yes. Treat him with slightly more deference than you treat me.
Understood. Mechanically, Dave, once we do step outside, in terms of if everyone is going to be preparing, since I'm not going to be, going over medical supplies or researching the place or preparing tactics, I might actually try and see if I can do background work and sort of set up an approach plan to be able to befriend the authorities down there.
Yeah, 100%. Dr.
I
Sayers would
would
probably
be
have
happy to assist with that if you would like.
Okay, awesome. I think in that case, I think it's gonna be so the two of you are gonna set to finding showing up with the plane with like the gift basket, ready to go. Anything that's gonna get you in his good senses. So two of you are gonna have a look at that.
Mr. Smith can be the carrot. I will be looking. I will be looking for other things.
And I think Hubert does go all out here. Like, if we find out that, his old alma mater or whatever, Hubert's going to manage to track down a pin from it that he'll have pinned to his lip. Like, it's quite like, he's a social climber. He knows
That's very funny.
The trade.
Social engineering.
That's pretty cunning, actually. I really like that. Okay, so two of you are going to set to that. Dr. Sam and Minnie, what do you want to do this evening? Is there anything you want to... It's also going into, like, night. It'd be... The base expectation would be, like, go home, pack your bags, get a good night's rest, be ready to go. Plan B would be, I'll sleep on the plane.
Switch out my books, make sure that I go through my personal collection, make sure that I've got the maps of the region that I need, the most updated ones if possible, notes on the local language, anything to kind of see if I've what I know from newspaper articles about the current political climate, the usual.
Yeah, that rules.
As well as my notebook with all of the snake person notes in it. But then geography, any kind of flora, fauna, poisonous animals, anything to watch out for, what we can eat, what we can't eat.
You start off with like the intent.
Minnie is the 1930s equivalent of Lonely Planet.
Yes.
Minnie starts off with the intention, like, I'm just going to do a little light research since we don't have a ton of time, and then next minute it's like, all right, look, flora, fauna, everything. How many feet above sea is it? Yeah, perfect. All right, so you're going to be looking into that. And lastly, Dr. Sam?
I was about to say I'll get started reading on the manual for the big machine, but there's probably plenty of time to do that on the way.
Yep, it's going to be a pretty long flight.
So otherwise, I think Sam's just got to spend like what little time he has before this sudden departure, just letting all of his neighbors know that he's going to be gone, because he's a popular man when he's home.
That's true. That's true.
So we just get the word out. Hey, going away. Lights will be off. Barn's locked. I won't be able to get your cow back over the fence. But that's all right. She's welcome to the paddock.
So you're gonna get a car out of New York back home tonight, so you'll arrive, and then early morning you can do the rounds and let people know.
I think I better had. Yeah.
I'm just picturing you just get to the front, turn the sign around, so it just reads, "The doctor is out." Done. They'll figure out.
That's lovely.
A logistics question about Dr. Sam's operation. Is this kind of a situation where you would talk to the neighbors and get them to come in and take care of the various sundries animals that are lingered around, or is it kind of more like a you know they'll be fine? Your property is set up so that they can frolic and find food somewhere.
I don't think Sam has a lot of animals on his own because he's out so much. But yeah, it's more the courtesy of letting people know he won't be in.
As a doctor with a flying machine, I imagine you're a very useful neighbor in general.
Exactly right. And it's just like he's the kind of guy who likes to know all his neighbors. So when you're going away, you let your neighbors know. Mm-hmm.
Also, I guess you don't need to take a car back to New York because you drive back and fly back in the flying machine. We'll meet you at the airport.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or out of the airport. Yeah, that should be fine. Although I'd probably pack it up pretty securely at home. It's really easy to pack it up for a long trip.
Get all boxed and
the barn.
and whatnot.
We're on one of those cargo jets. It'd be perfect.
So I'll get you each to make a roll. I think Lieutenant Carter into Smith is going to be, I think it's going to be credit rating for Lieutenant Carter, first of all, to see if there was any social, or otherwise it'd be like charm retroactively to see if you had any social conversations with the captain. And then we'll throw that across to Mr. Smith to prepare the scheme, I think is the best word for it.
There are two things I want to request of Shapiro, but that can happen after this, if that's easier. When he just taking him up on the offer if there's anything you want us to source.
Yeah, 100%.
So charm or credit rating, you said?
Yes. Credit rating's going to be hard, given you were serving under him, but you'll get some information even with success. Charm will just be a flat roll.
Well, my charm is much higher than my credit rating, so I'll take the flat roll on a charm.
Yeah,
And
100%. It shows you are charming.
I am unfortunately not that charming, not in a professional capacity.
He's a hard nut to crack.
Are you interested in liking it or leave it as is?
No.
Okay. You had pretty much no social contact with him then. You served there for a brief period. You were perfectly functional in your capacity, but the two of you were certainly not close. And honestly, you found the man to be rather displeasant. That said, you knew him to entertain people on fast, and he definitely played favorites. So he had the couple of officers that were basically poker and drinking buddies, and would sort of lounge around and shirk work a bit, and then he'd go screaming at them afterwards the next day. But you were never in that sort of inner circle. Mr. Smith, what's your strategy? Is this a research thing, or now that you don't really have the edge, are you going to go for a shotgun approach, wide barrel, just grab a bunch of shit and then you'll improvise on the fly?
I think it's a little bit of a wide-barreled approach, but also figuring out. I probably just talk, I think, to Carter about this person's personality a lot of the time. I think that I'm not so foolish as to think that I can necessarily make friends with them. But sometimes, being just the right level of annoying that someone sort of keeps an eye on you but isn't frustrated by you is as good as sort of being in their good graces.
So Hubert playing to his strengths.
Exactly. That's right. On that note, just very quickly, sorry to do this to you, Dave, credit rating doesn't usually advance in the normal way for Call of Cthulhu. You don't check it and make a roll. But if you are doing your job, quote unquote, on an investigator development phase, you can roll to increase it. Was I doing my job when we did our last phase? Or not?
All of you were. So you can all make a credit rating advancement. So if you want to just make a roll now, and if it's
my highest skill, so I'm going to keep trying it.
If it's a fail, you can add a D10.
Extreme success. Not today.
Not today.
I just know I'm not going to get any roll like that. That's just good for.
It's actually going to click Cthulhu instead of credit rating. Can we take that?
I was like, your credit rating's 5.
Go ahead and roll again. Nice try there.
Okay, well, can we take it? Can we take it to 61? No, my credit rating's 40.
Roll it again.
So if we fail, we add a D10, right?
Yeah.
I'm rolling again.
No, you failed.
No, yeah, sorry, I thought so.
No, Dr. Sam. Click.
He made me roll again because it said the wrong word under the.
Yeah, you click that. If the button doesn't work, we'll take flat D100s.
Oh,
but
this is like the digital equivalent of what if the die goes off the
What if it's not? What if it's not? Exactly.
roll the dice tray?
So if we fail, we get to add a D10.
Get add a D10. That's right.
Oh, hell yeah!
Oh, nice.
And if you click the wrong word, it doesn't count.
Did you rate your roll, Alex?
Holy shit.
If you want to roll for a credit rating, yep. See if you improve. And this is just doing your Lieutenant Carter. That's actually completely worked because you straight up got a promotion too. Like you've got the team, whatever.
Yeah. So. Also, I think does comfortable.
Okay.
Does wealthy start at 50?
It might.
Because I may have jumped in credit rating like tiers.
All those shares you got given in Catasea, it's just suddenly worth a whole lot more as you joined a crime-fighting division. I think you did. I think
you say
49.
you went over 50.
Yeah.
I went from 40 to 50.
My goodness. Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I think it's pretty big.
It's all right. After the session, I'll work it out. Let's not do accounting.
Perfect.
Not the skill.
No, you go from average. I got it. You go from average to wealthy.
Ooh, it's time to get a new place when you come back.
Average, you've got cash credit rating times 2. In wealthy, you got credit rating times 5 in cash. And your assets go up by 10 times from credit rating times 50 to credit rating times 500.
Well, there you go. Perhaps I'll have
level
to
$10 to $50. There you go.
I'll annoy our wonderful keeper post game to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Perhaps lieutenant becomes captain. Who knows?
I can change the list. Yeah, that'd be sick, especially after you kick the shit out of this captain. That's how ranks work, right? You kill a captain and you get their title.
I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
Okay, sweet. So that you hear that anyone kills the captain, they get to be captain. So you're all free to go for it, you know?
Who killed the captain? Who killed the captain in the temple? technically.
Yeah, technically. So you could be a captain in the Bolivian army.
The thing is, though, if
Who got
someone
the kill?
else...
I think Dr. Sam. No, Minnie got the kill.
That's Captain Sinclair to you.
That's
and
captain in
did.
captain in the Bolivian army, Sinclair.
Well, I will say it's probably a lot easier to kill one of you if you kill a captain than it is to kill myself. So, you know, should you so desire, we can work it that way.
Are we at all worried about IP infringement if we start calling one of our characters Captain Carter, though?
Oh, yeah.
I did think of it.
Just don't get a shield or whatever, and then we're fine.
I'm so confused. It's fine.
There's a Marvel superhero, Captain Carter.
It's fine. We'll actually British too. It's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Bully
all right.
for them.
So, Mr. Smith, what's your strategy? Do you want to say I could see library use for research? I could see charm, maybe just try and get yourself a bonus dice on a forthcoming charm check.
Yeah, that's my plan. Charm check, and I'd love to try and bolster myself up for a future one.
Go for it. Go ahead and make a charm roll. No bonuses. Just straight roll.
No luck.
What do you think you get that's not quite appealing enough to... Or do you want to reveal it? Do you want to just have the closed box and reveal it when it comes up?
I would love to say that I randomly fixate on something that Carter said and decide that he's going to be super into like a niche hobby, and I would like to push this role. If I fail, I'd like to rock up like dressed. I think maybe golf. I decide that he's like a golfer, and I'm going to rock up in like a golf costume with a bag of clubs, and assume that, of course, you found all the best golf spots,
funny.
right?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and push
Mountainous
the roll as you find a late night New York golfing attire shop.
Oh my god.
Enrico will help me.
Enrico will help
find
out.
something. All right, here we go.
I want you to fail so you go to North Borneo in like a really fancy golf outfit. Like, I don't...
Mountainous, jungle, tropical islands are notoriously good places to build golf courses.
Oh, yes. I'm more excited by the fail. Okay. I think I'm
tweed hat, the
in a
little
golfer's
vest.
outfit.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, I'm bringing a thing of clubs. And yeah, it's great. All right.
So is the penalty for this just like Smith is
One, he
now
looks like an
wildly inappropriately dressed for the environment?
I
also he thinks that Captain is a fiend for golf. So I'm
going to walk forward and start blabbering to him about golf.
I trust Jamie to shoot himself in the foot. I know
both of his parents were killed in a golfing accident, and he's going to hate me for it.
Okay, perfect.
Amazing.
So you sprint off to a late night golfing attire, find Enrico to make sure you get a custom tweed fit, you get a couple clubs, and you will be ready for departure as other people look to other things. Dr. Sam, can you give me a medicine roll, as you were sort of talking about like getting the, or Shapiro will ask you about, sourcing PPE and things like that, and just kind of see how well prepared the four of you are going into this.
I can imagine that, like, if Dr. Sam can go home first, he's probably got alongside all of the mechanical gear in his barn. He's probably also got some good stocks of medical gear. So
100%.
turn some stuff up. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You've probably done similar things to this before. There's risk, but you got the basics of, keep contact to a minimum, although people will still need care. Wash everything, masks, gloves, and I'll effectively noted, and you guys are pretty kitted out. As long as everyone keeps to their safety, you're pretty confident everyone should be fine. Should be handleable.
Sure.
Okay.
I wish I'd taken a page from Art's book when they play a doctor and do all the medical research, so you can actually pretend to know what you're talking about. But that's fine.
If you mean for like...
It's the 1930s, you're fine.
Oh, yeah,
you mean for like quarantine stuff?
I'll link this article I just Googled to you, Jackson. You can have that.
There's if you're curious about like what quarantine stuff would have been available, there actually was a fair amount of stuff that they did on the 1918 influenza outbreak.
Of course.
And masks were a big thing then. I think they were cloth, but you can find like old images of people like in masks being like, mask to save society.
I've seen those.
Ignore that
Yeah.
article too. I sent you. It is very short. Anyway, I did not scroll down. It looks cool. Okay, perfect. So you get a bunch of kit though, and you tell Shapiro to like gather some more basics, and you guys were going in with a bunch of stuff ready to go, clean equipment, the means to clean and process it, as well as just general stuff that you actually use to take care of people when you're on the ground. You'll also let your neighbors know that you'll be away for a little while, and then prepare to depart. Lastly, Minnie, can you give me a library use roll as you throw yourself into your
sure can.
hefty tomes?
Resize my window.
The S tier of Call of Cthulhu skills.
Nice. Okay. So some basic information for one. Mount Kitabalu, which is where you are going, is basically to dominate the landscape in the area. And the climate kind of changes based on your altitude. At the base, it's very tropical, with a lot of showers and things. And as you rise higher, it will dry out. There's also monsoon seasons. We are just getting towards the end of the first, but you can definitely expect pretty heavy rainfall throughout it. Temperature-wise, it should be fairly manageable. You know about the North Borneo Chartered Company, in that they are effectively British Empire colonial foothold in the region, and they have military support, or they have a military that keep that control. You will also get some, you'll have like general familiarity on the region throughout this. So if you just, your character might like just recall things as it becomes relevant. And lastly, I would say you can put together a handbook, which you can share with the others as needed, which will give you, we'll treat it as a tome, so you can roll under its skill rather than your own, which is a dictionary of Malay, which is the language used. That'll have a 30% chance in it. So you can thumb through it to get passing phrases and also roll under it to try and understand and interpret. If you wish, you can get a couple of copies done for your companions as well. Perfect. All right.
And I've like earmarked the pages for Hubert that have all of the like polite, please, thank you, I'm sorry.
I don't need this. Yeah, I need you to tell me how I say club and 9-9.
What?
Golf terms. We'll get back to it.
I
Sorry.
didn't include golf. I
Need a second book.
No, thank you very much.
Art.
Yes, I had two things I wanted to ask of Shapiro. That's the first is requesting like a handgun loaded or with like tranquilizer darts rather than bullets. For the simple reason that if we're trying to avoid contamination, shooting someone having their blood go everywhere is not the most helpful. So tranquilizing them and then precision execution / whatever that looks like is probably a safer method. Tie them up, throw them in a river, whatever it is. The other one...
Of unspeakable horrors. Art's character is usually the scariest one.
I'm sorry that I think about like 16 angles at once, but it's why I play the characters I play. The other one, and dear Dr. Sam, you might want to close your ears for this one, and no, I will not be sharing this at this time. Call it contingency plan. We have one of their kind being studied currently, as I understand the mummy.
Well, you have a very old mummy thing, but yes, that is being studied.
But the general...
It's not quite dead.
Yeah, the general physiology and like biology of the creature is available to us, at least like it might be at some point if they're researching it. If they have created a biological weapon that works on mammals, or us, there is a chance that we may be able to take the information that we have and reverse engineer it to be a biological weapon for them. I would like to request that they start researching that, so that if we find out the chemical makeup of what we're dealing with, mutating it into something that will fuck them up. Whether it still continues to be a problem for us, but we then have an antidote, but that is a request and information that I'm asking for.
Okay. They will basically tell you, yes, they can look into it, and Shapiro will... contingencies are always worth having, and information can be stored and applied as needed. Secure the samples using the device, and then once brought back, they can study it here and see what they can do.
Yeah.
That said, reworking, they might be able to find elements of it. They would need a fair bit more to go on. They'd need, biology of, one of the creatures as well as further research into disease and biological warfare.
Okay, so
but this would be a starting point. This is probably the best starting point you'll get.
Is the implication that we would need like a fresher creature to sort of
It'd probably help.
see,
Yeah,
fresh or alive?
alive if you can get it.
All right. Well, that gives me a secondary objective then.
Okay.
Tranquilizer darts home.
Hell yeah.
Officially for no blood. Unofficially now.
Hostage. As far as the tranquilizer, you'll be given it's effectively a single shot pistol, which you can load a dart into, fire it. It'll be used with the handgun skill, same roll, and then it will be a constitution roll on their behalf to resist it. It will deal, it'll still deal damage. It's just because they have armor. So it's going to have to, if it's actually a lizard person, it's going to have to overwhelm the armor in order to get into the system, and blah, 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 blah. That said, it should be very functional on people. It's going to be a constitution roll, and you can always just hit him again. On the lizard guys, you're going to need a breach. But it gives you a starting point.
Okay.
And they can begin researching this for future ones to get you some more advanced stuff.
Some better delivery and or just more potent. Potentially something that works better on cold-blooded things versus warm-blooded things, etc., etc. So yes.
Old chili venom. I know it well. Very familiar.
Oh, and the other thing, of course, is we returned with samples of poison.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not they have had enough time, I assume potentially not. Antidote for that is something else that I asked them to look into. Whether we have it for this one or a future one, I cannot. But requesting antidote for their toxins.
Good call. They will not have it for this one, but they can look into it for the future. So they're looking into the biological stuff will basically depending on what you bring back. The other two, the tranquilizer, weaponry, and the antidote will be works in progress. With the antidote a lot further along, they would have already started working on that. Unfortunately, everything's been brought forward. And you've only actually had a few days off.
That's fine. Will I still be able to get some basic tranquilizer things for this one? Yeah, just need to shoot good.
That's right. Yeah, and it's only a single shot. Okay, awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Come the morning. The four of you gather at an airstrip, looking out at a large sort of plane and things being loaded up onto it. There's a number of blokes with sleeves rolled up, hauling up crates of supplies and things, and Quentin is overseeing all of it, seeing it's going in and checking things off a list and making sure it gets stored. The four of you head on board, stow your own baggage, and begin to strap yourselves in for the flight. It's a very functional plane, not a particularly comfortable one, and the four of you sit in little knockdown seats with harnesses on, basically facing each other across an open cavernous space with a bunch of pieces of cargo held down by netting and clamps. Shapiro, after checking everything over 2 or 3 times, will come and join you, and Miller, who is the pilot, will saunter up down the middle of the aisle, nod to each of you in greeting, and then begin to strap himself in the pilot seat at the far side. That door, he has a door that closes between him and you, and then once ready, the propellers on each wing will begin to whirl. The whole thing will taxi around and will begin to take off up into the sky and towards North Borneo. It's going to be a long flight, and undoubtedly there are a number of stops and things on the way. But all in all, it's rather uneventful. Looking out the window, you'll see the oceans come and go, and eventually, after an indefinite amount of travel, you will begin to descend down towards the island. You can see the mountain, Kinabalu, rising up out of the clouds. A dominating feature in the region, and fairly thick clouds have gathered all around it as rain pours down on the area below, but you are currently flying up and above it. As you begin to descend down for your landing, how are the four of you seated? Have you been talking throughout the trip? Have you been double checking your equipment? How are you preparing for the final leg of your journey?
Reading.
As flagged.
Reading, yep, that tracks.
His name's Dr. Sam, reading the manual of the machine.
The heavy manual, so you've got one book clamped between your legs and you're going over the previous one, next one rather.
Not cleaning because it would already be clean, but going over the equipment that I have, making sure that it's all oiled and in working order, and just, I guess, checking and double checking all of the tactical notes that we have, and any and all of the equipment that we have on us.
So you've done a check through, and now as you begin to descend, you'll be urged to head back and strap in for the actual landing. But you'll have gone back over everything and made sure that it's all there, and it seems to be all in place. Mr. Smith? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, because I have my standard holster for my pistol and bayonet, I also, for this one, would like to say I have a leg holster, like a thigh for the tranquilizer one.
Oh,
so
yeah. And keep it under the
holster
trouser,
the
so it's
fuck
not
up.
sick. Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Mr. Smith?
I think I've got a nice 15-minute rotation going where I basically go between each other member of the investigator party and kind of hassle them for about 15 minutes, then move on to the next. And then when I'm terrifyingly alone for the last quarter hour, I'll fish into one of my bags and pull out my reading material. Hubert's never played golf, and he's trying to get along the lingo, so he's bought a manual, and he's writing
Golf
down
for dummies.
terms. He's getting his opening lines ready.
Tremendous. As you're talking to the others, you'll find them different levels of distracted as they go about their own duties. And speaking with Shapiro as well, who's double checking the equipment a number of times. Can you actually give me a psychology roll? Just to get
Absolutely.
a sense for your party.
Coming right up, psychology. Not great.
Okay. All right. Nothing of note then. All seems good. Cool stuff. All right.
Glad to hear it.
From the front, you'll hear Miller call out, if everyone can get into your seats, we're going to be heading down now, and we should be landing shortly. You'll sort of seat down and click the harnesses into place, and then the plane begins to lower down towards the clouds. And as it looks you're heading towards the mountain, you'll be descending down into it. Just at that point, for a moment, there's as you looks like clouds shift a little bit at one point, and then you begin to descend down into the cloud cover, and vision becomes severely limited. Can I get everyone to please make a spot hidden roll?
Ooh.
There's gonna be something in the clouds.
Hop.
Oh, what?
Hey, hard success,
One of
friends.
those.
Okay.
Success.
Honestly, so on the fail, Hubert, you're having a great time going over your golf terms and relatively unfazed.
On brand.
Dr. Sam, you see something slide along for a moment through cloud cover, but you can't track it. And as you begin to go down, it looks as though probably just a bird or something moving out there. As you ascend, Lieutenant Carter, you're on one side, and Minnie, you're on the other. You're sort of looking across at each other, and you can just see out the windows on either side. You're pretty sure you saw something out there. And as you begin to descend down under cloud cover, suddenly there's as something surges past the window once more, and then there's as something hits one of the wings, he veers over, and you begin to move around quite significantly.
If we see something outside, I'm going to look across at Sam and say, Sam, get to the pilot seat now. You're the best one we've got.
Oh my word.
And I can lend a hand.
Move.
And
All
as
right.
you
I'm gonna unstrap myself, grab a handhold, and get Sam to the piloting area of this. I'm gonna say this is not the first time I've been in a plane and had to move people quickly. It's probably not the first time I've jumped out of one. But
Possibly not.
God forbid I have to do it again.
So, Dr. Sam, you also unbuckle the harness and step up to head towards the captain's.
Did I miss something? Is there something wrong with the pilot?
There's nothing
There's
wrong with the pilot
something outside.
yet.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
But
then.
no, this is Carter going, you are the best pilot I know, and we're gonna need someone who can fly this. I'm a good driver, I'm not a good pilot.
I mean,
You're a good
presumably
pilot.
We have a pilot, but that's fine. No, yeah, I'll help.
No, we do. I just trust your skills
get
more
to.
than them.
So,
Oh, wow.
For
That's very nice.
evasive, for dogfighting and evasive maneuvers, you
Almost
are.
certainly a better pilot.
Yeah. There's a chance.
I don't know.
going on instinct, Lieutenant Carter cracks open the harness, leaps up and grabs onto one of the railings before leaning over and unbuckling Sam as well, who pulls himself up, and the two of you begin to head to the cockpit. Minnie, you see another things go past,
There's
and you're
more of them.
counting them. 1, 2, 3. Two of them heading towards the front, and then there's as something goes
There's more
towards
of
the
them that are
back,
gonna hit.
and suddenly there's a bang as one hits one of the wings. The thing veers over, the propeller goes, and there's smoke beginning to funnel out of it. I need the two of you that are standing to immediately make dexterity checks as the whole
I did
plane
give them a warning.
shudders. Exactly. Yeah, you're familiar with how many there are.
Yeah.
Everyone make. Sorry, the two of you make dexterity checks, and then we are going to all roll dex and go into
Can they
initiative order.
Can they get a bonus dice because I gave them advance warning that they were gonna?
I specifically said, I don't mind about that. I am holding Sam. Like,
I get you.
So,
That's right.
if-
Dexterous enough.
okay.
Go ahead and roll. This is just saying if you're holding up. Yep. The whole thing sort of shakes a bit. You slide along, but you're holding up. The plane hits. It begins to veer, and suddenly you're moving around. Everyone, go ahead and make dexterity rolls, and we're going to see what the order shakes out into. And I'm going to roll for Quentin.
While we're all rolling, is this one of those old style planes that has like opened? Like you could like
Has
kinda,
what,
like,
sorry?
style windows?
Is the
like a
back of
cargo
this plane open?
It
or is
can
it
open. It is not open.
great? Okay.
And are there windows that can open? Because I know that some planes used to have that. I believe.
No, the
This is
windows
just
the
a
windows would all
cargo.
be sealed. All right. So
I do
who got-
assume we have parachutes.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Is if you're getting Dr. Sam to the front, I would like to unbuckle and go looking for parachutes.
we can. There will presumably there will be parachutes on the plane. You'll just need to find them and get them equipped.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Did anyone get an extreme success first of all? Because we'll put you at the top. Okay.
No.
Who got a hard success?
Oh, are we rolling, not initiative? Okay.
Yes. Rolling.
Ooh. This is a
Hard success.
variant on
It's a top
initiative,
variant.
right?
All right, and everyone else got success.
I got a success.
Yeah.
So we
Yep.
got Hubert, Sam, Minnie. We'll put Quentin at the bottom. Okay. So. First, as Dr. Sam and Lieutenant Carter are heading towards the front, beginning to pull your way along, just as you get towards the door, Carter, and push it open, there's a bang as the window is punched inwards. You see something black and serpentine wrap in and around, and suddenly
No.
Miller, who's just looking up and trying to wrench the thing, is yanked out through the side, and you hear as he gets thrown into the
Called it.
sky and begins
Yeah.
to race away. Both of you get a sense as the serpentine thing wraps back around, and then pulling itself down over the roof and scrambling into the thing is this large, black, slick-looking creature with no visible face, although the bottom of its chin opens up into what looks like a maw of teeth and things. It has large
Sexy.
bat-like wings, which wrap itself under, and a huge prehensile tail, which at its furthest point opens up into almost like feathers or a flower or something, which I need both of you to make sanity rolls. Actually, yeah, we'll do sanity rolls on turn. So, Lieutenant Carter, you make yours now, and we'll handle them as they go. Okay.
I am in combat mode.
Still-
I don't see anything but red.
I'm still going to ask you to take 1 point as it comes through the window, but it is your turn, and the plane is no longer in control. What do you want to do?
Yeah, no surprises. This thing is in the cockpit?
It is moving its way in there currently.
Great. Would it be point blank range?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Great. I'm gonna use my pulp talent, rapid fire and unload 3 bullets into this thing.
As long
Is
as
that
the plane
something you
is
wanna
out
do
of
in a
control,
plane?
I am going to give you a penalty dice, but the door kicks open, you hold on, unload it. Go ahead. So you would take a penalty for the for the plane out of motion, but you don't take a penalty for the rapid fire. Point blank gives you 1. I think you're a straight roll, right?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Roll 3 times. Bang,
Pretty
bang,
good.
bang.
Not only is there a monster in the cockpit, it sounds like there's some kind of monster running around our department right now.
Yeah, sorry. The lad's having his zoomy time. It's
I'll
just
do
doing
it.
his thing. All right, first shot. Did that come through?
No, it doesn't appear to have.
Just keep clicking.
Yeah, spam
Keep
the shit
fight all
out
your
of it.
shots.
There we go.
There we go.
First shot.
Hey.
You can't push it. That's fine.
What is
Second shot.
How's a C96 when it's at home?
It is a very specific.
I just googled it.
All right. A failure and 2 hard successes. Let me see. Oh no, 1. What? Oh.
I think it's just the
Oh, they're
spam
just
rolls coming
delayed.
through. That's a good.
Cool.
Alright, so
Well, regardless.
failure and 2 hard
Failure and
successes.
2 hard successes. I am going to. Oh, what is that?
Has that factored in the penalty dice?
I have bonus for being point blank.
Cool.
Yes, that's right. So it all evens out. Cool.
Shit. Sorry, I'm doing quick math.
I can fill the space with trivia. A modified Mauser C96 was used as Han Solo's blaster in Star Wars.
Ah, fun.
So imagine Han's Carter Solo. You get the idea. It's
Cool.
badass.
I am going to lock both of the second ones down to extreme successes.
Shit. Okay.
So that's 19 because it's 13 off for this first one and 6 off for the second, so that's 19 total.
Yeah.
And I rolled max for those second 2, so that'll be because it's impaling, yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Cool. Sorry. Let me just make sure that I get my luck correct first. Oh no, I'm down from 86 to 67. What calamity. So impaling, they will both do. Do I roll again, or does it just do? No, it's max and max, isn't it?
It's max
If I've
and,
already
and
rolled
max and the
max.
damage again. So
Great.
yours is
so-
11 plus a d10.
No, that was what I rolled.
I guess so. Just
So
add, just
the
add
damage
10 to
is
it if you want.
11. 1d10 plus 1. So it's 22 points of. So 44.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So
Ouch.
22 twice if armor applies.
There are terrors in the cockpit, but it's not these monsters. Fuck yeah, dude. You kick
Crack,
open the
crack.
door. There's a as he gets screamed out. The thing scrambles in underneath the through the open cockpit, and as it's launching itself way over like the controls and things, it's
First bullet goes into the back of the chair. Second 2 just straighten its more face thing.
sick. The head just explodes backwards, and immediately it slumps forward down, laying across the like the cockpit and everything, and one limb just barely like laying across the steering wheel, which is continuing to as you arc around, going in circles. You will, however, notice that immediately following comes another one, landing on the other side and beginning to scramble its way forward.
Yeah. So I'm gonna set myself. I'm essentially gonna like pull myself in through the door and set up to shoot at the anything else that comes in, which narrative,
It's-
not mechanical, and again narratively shove Sam in, like pull him in behind me so that he can get in, and I will keep him protect. I'm in the doorway, able to shoot these things and anything that comes at us from behind if they can.
Hell yeah. So it begins to scramble. The cockpit's very small. You're basically just behind the seat, but this one's dead in there and you're ready to fire at the next one. Next to act is going to be some of our horrible looking monster things. So one of them is going to come in through the window and launch itself across at Carter. Two more have landed on the right-hand wing, which Minnie, you can look across and see, and one slams down on the left wing. Hubert, from right towards the rear, you can hear something scratching at the door of the hatch where the whole thing drops open and away. So one's going to launch at Carter as the other two on the right wing begin to wrench, and you see the propeller just get broken off and away, and the whole plane begins to spin down. Lieutenant Carter, would you like to dodge or riposte?
I will dodge.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead and make your roll first. What is your build, by the way? Is it build 1 or build 0?
I think I'm build 0.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm build 0.
No worries.
Does that change things?
It does, because it's using a fighting maneuver.
Okay, great. Fuck all the way up. Oh, motherfuck.
Oh,
Would you like to spend 25 points of luck?
I mean,
I get the distinct impression I'm going to get yeeted out of a plane, but I also think I'm going
yeeted
to
out of a plane.
possibly,
That's fine. That's cool.
possibly, maybe I'll get to shoot it first. No, I will not on this one.
Okay.
Just have to hope that it fails.
Fuck. It just fails. It rolled 3 over. It launches itself. I'm Whisper to keep. I'll turn that off. It launches itself in through under the window, jumps forward, and as its back legs wrap around you, the front, like the winged ones, hold on to the rear and prepare to launch itself back out of the cockpit with you held. But you're able to tumble down and out of the way, and it's now in the cockpit with you, preparing to continue its assault as we go to the next person in the order, who I believe is going to be Hubert. Hubert, can you please make a sanity roll?
Absolutely, would absolutely
Technically, it's the
love
three
to.
of you and at your prerogative, but I was just going to do it in the order I wrote it, unless you want to break that.
Here we go. Hard
Okay.
success.
1 point, please.
1 point of sanity loss taken.
And what would you
That's
like to
me.
do?
I think that I've heard this scratching noise on the hatch. I'm going to hurry up from my seat, unbuckle myself, flip up my driving iron, rush towards the hatch, flip it open, and whack whatever's outside.
Okay,
That
all
was
right.
my aim. We'll see how far I get.
Hell yeah. So you stand up and lurch towards the rears, where you can find there's a large lever that once pulled will drop the hatch back down. It's not it's not a slow descent. It will just drop open, and you'll be able to clobber whatever's outside. You heave down on that. It swings ajar, and this creature on the other side of it gets buffeted back for a moment, spirals away, and then surges back towards you. Attempting to land, you can give it a massive whack. Go for it.
Golf's too complicated. I go for a baseball swing. Let's see how we go.
Wait, and I'm going to, go ahead and make your roll. I've decided which I'm doing. I'm riposting. So it's
Okay,
the
I'm
default.
going to luck that. I really want this to hit, so I'm going to give you 32 points of luck.
Yeesh. 33, yeah. Oof. Okay, all right.
33, sorry. Thank you.
All good. I'm going to riposte. I've got turned off. Ooh, just a success. Okay.
Just a success.
Comes towards you. Go ahead and roll your
Horrible
damage.
winged thing.
And so with a success then, that has calculated to 3 damage.
That's my damage.
Oh, okay. All right, so never mind then. I'm just rolling mine, coming right up. What do you think a golf club is? A driving iron? Is that a medium club or a
D8.
large club?
D8.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, so that's a weapon. It probably is. It probably is the D6. It's not really intended for, or it'll just get busted up and twanged, I think.
Okay. Oh well, let's go for the 6 then. Oh, awful.
Oh, rip. Okay.
Who won?
You hit it, and its rubbery exterior completely absorbs the damage. None dealt, and it's now landed on the rears and continue to stalk towards you as you're backing up. We're going to go across to Minnie now, as you can see cargo's beginning to shift around. Minnie, can you please make your sanity roll? Far out.
Please.
Okay. Again, just take 1 point, please. But everyone is handling this very well, which is
We're
bullshit.
professionals, Dave.
You are now professionals. You've been inducted. All right, Minnie, what do you want to do?
Ooh, I want to find those parachutes. I
Okay.
want those parachutes. I want the parachutes. Parachutes for all. Thank
So you
please.
pop open your own harness, or are you staying strapped in as you begin to search?
Oh no, I'm not staying strapped in. The plane is like lurching all. I want. Yeah, I don't think staying strapped in is going to be no.
Okay, probably good call. So you unharness yourself and begin to look. Now I can see either spot hidden for this, or it could be like a standards thing. Like it's just how I think spot hidden makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a spot hidden roll.
Extreme success.
Oh shit, yeah, okay. By the cockpit, which Hubert has just opened, there are 4 little bays, which each will hold a parachute. There's also 2 more by the door leading into the cockpit, and then will be another ones under the pilot seats on the inside. So you've identified the location of 8 parachutes.
Yep.
do you
I
wanna-
want to start. I want to start getting them to people as quick as I want everybody to have a parachute because there's a lot of things on the thing, and I don't think we can take them all. I think we're bailing out.
Okay, which ones are you heading to?
The one closest to me. I'm gonna put one on first.
So that will be the one next to Hubert, which also has the thing there.
The one furthest from the things.
Okay, so you'll head into the cockpit then, where Dr. Sam is just heading through the door, and you can grab one and begin to swing it on yourself. You snap it on, and you are
Actually,
now parachuted.
I think the first one. I think I'll give it. Yeah. The first one I'm gonna do is if that's near the cockpit. I think the first thing I'm going to do is give it to Dr. Sam.
Okay, all right, perfect. Dr.
Once
Sam.
again, if the doctor survives.
All right, Dr. Sam,
Everyone
you're
else is more
parachuted.
Excellent.
All right, and with that, we're going to go
Dr.
to...
Sam is just being shoved around and manhandled into the
That's
cockpit.
all right.
Put this
He
on.
does what he's told.
Also, Dave, I believe the past participle of to parachute someone is shunt or sorry,
Parachute.
bad joke.
Parakick. All right, perfect. Minnie
Paraspartic.
snaps on a parachute over Dr. Sam and begins to click it into place. As Dr. Sam, can you please make a sanity roll at the start of your turn?
I thought you'd never ask.
God
it's
damn,
close.
it was bullshit. Take 1 point.
It was close.
That's so
It
same.
was.
You almost got me.
I almost got you. Would have gotten
No, my
less
starting
sane man.
sanity today is 83, isn't it? Oh, sorry, 84. Yeah, it's 83. All right. I would like to fly the plane.
Okay, all right. So
That seems like
there
a
is
good idea.
currently one of these things in there, basically blocking the cockpit and fighting with Carter. You can try and move it, and the other one is sprawled across the controls. Do you want to give me a strength roll to try and haul the other one off so you can get at them?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I would like to not crash.
Okay. What's the Falcon doing as well? What's Lancet's reaction to winged
Yeah.
horrors?
That is a good question. Well, we discussed it last time. What is this pulp talent of animal companionship get me?
It
Can I
gives you,
look
a
in
little
his
guy.
eyes and go get help, boy? Or is it?
Yeah, I think it's
or does he just kinda do his own thing?
light psychic for animals.
All
You
right,
have a
yeah,
very close
all
bond, and it could also swoop around and kind of be a pain in the ass of things every now and then.
You are going to send that thing out, and it is going to get eaten.
These lizard things, they got wings?
Yeah, they got for sure wings. Big
How big
bat
are they?
leather.
They're like person-sized, bigger?
The big guys. Yeah, they're
lizards
like
themselves,
good
yeah.
sized. Yeah.
All right. I think Lance is quick. I think I'll say go let's say, but
Come on, get the fuck out of here,
I will attempt to communicate in this nonsense pulp talent.
Okay.
Go get help. If we go down, someone should know where we are. And Lance is Falcons dive.
They can
That's what they
swoop
do.
and stuff. Yeah, it's
But
quick.
if these are big flappy things, he can just go and straight down, and they can't catch him.
Yeah, it also keep it
That's
safe.
what I think.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Lancet cuts through the air over the body of the corpse that Carter's killed, and then immediately dives down.
Like a Lancet?
Exactly.
Exactly so.
Breaking through cloud cover and descending towards the ground below. All right, Dr. Sam, give me a strength roll.
And then
And
I'm
sorry,
gonna
these are all supposed with penalty dice. Jim, so yours was due. Don't worry about it though. I can make a strength roll with a penalty dice while the plane is not in control. Oh, he's
Yep, all good.
Reach forward and you
All good.
haul this thing bodily. Do you pull it into the cockpit or you push it back out the other way?
If I can push it out the window, that's what I'll do.
All right. You heave on it and shove it backwards, and it begins to fall out, tumbling as the plane veers once more and continues its descent. You're heading forward to continue strapping yourself in as we go to... Okay. Another lands on the left-hand wing and begins to wrench at one of the side pieces, causing the whole thing to shift back towards the left. And from the tail, this one lunges forward at you, Hubert, and will attempt to grab you. What is your build?
My build is 2.
Okay, it's doing it with 2 penalty
It's
dice.
big.
Would you like to riposte or dodge or apply a fighting maneuver of your own?
I would like
Bring this
to.
thing to
I think.
bear.
I think I would like to riposte this thing. If it was fighting maneuver of my own, throw it out, but it wants to go out, so let's not do that.
Okay, go ahead. You are going to take a penalty
Or
dice.
would you
I just
permit
forgot
me
to
to
apply it last
fighting
time.
maneuver of my own to try and slam it into one of the nearby seats and lock it in with the seatbelt?
hell, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
let's do that.
Put the nightmare in the baby carrier. Yes, please, James. You do have a
All
penalty.
right.
You have a penalty dice, but it has 2. I go ahead and make
Okay.
your roll, and then you can decide to spend luck as you see fit. Okay, so good start.
I'll give you 5 points of luck for a regular success.
Okay, I will take that. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and make my roll. That's a success. That's still a success. And that's still a success. That is going to beat
Oh, it's
yours.
good.
You try and lunge it back, but it grabs you. The back legs clamp around your large size. You feel them biting into your rear. And then as the wings hold onto the thing, it begins to heave you back and try and throw you. It's trying to basically tumble back out of the plane with you held. However, it'll need to do that on its next turn. Consider yourself held, sir. All right, lastly, Shapiro panics, looks around, slams his harness, and heads across towards the supply crates, and immediately tries to hold them in place. As the plane makes another surge, you hear a snap as a latch breaks, and suddenly things are tumbling across the interior of the cavern. He appears to be going for one specific device. It's not the large test tubey guy, it's something else a little smaller, and he seems to be protecting that in particular. At the end of this round, I need everyone who is not strapped in to make a dodge roll as shit just begins to careen about the cavern. Dr. Sam, I'll consider yourself safe as you're in the other and begin to strap yourself in.
That's fine.
Lieutenant
It's
Carter.
fine. It's good.
Okay.
Of course.
All right, a D3 for both Mr. Smith and Minnie.
Ow.
I was about to ask you, like, you know, did we think to bring
Of
heavy
course.
leather jackets or anything and armor? And I was like,
Not
the
at
others
this
probably
point.
did. I'm in a golfing uniform.
They
Ow!
slam into you. Lieutenant Carter, you're like 6 cents. You see something flying, you duck out of the way. A crate of something goes flying past your head and out towards the window. All right, we are back to the top. As we go to Carter's turn, you are just beginning to leave cloud cover, spiraling down, still out of control, and you can see the ground beginning to approach, wispy through clouds in the distance. It's going to be your turn.
In terms of what I can see, there's the one that just got shunted out the window by Sam,
The one
and
you
the
killed?
one that is fighting. No, the one I killed. The one that got shunted out the window by Sam.
Oh,
is
no,
that the one?
he threw the corpse out the window so he could get at the seats.
Oh, right. So there's still a second one in here with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much
And
so.
it's right up in your shit.
Great. And then there's the one that's trying to yeet Smith out.
Yes, and then there are 2 on the right wing and 1 on the left wing.
I can't see the ones on the wings, I assume.
Minnie can be relaying and having a little...
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
would be yelling.
Yeah.
I can see everything and I'm yelling about it.
Is there another parachute in this room?
Yes, there is one underneath each of the pilot's seats.
Great. Is putting that on an entire action?
That's going to be strapping yourself in, yeah.
I will.
Yeah,
will
that's
be strapping
fine.
people in. That's
Yep, cool.
and you're next. 'Cause
great.
Right there.
So in that case, I'm going to aim at the one in my face, and I'm going to rapid fire again. I'm going to take 2 shots at the one directly in my face, hoping that I hit once. Oh, question. Yeah. Do I think 44 points was do I think shooting it
yeah.
twice was overkill?
For those rolls, yes.
Okay. So narratively, Carter went, I don't know what this is, so it must like unload. Now I'm like, oh, that was a lot. I will shoot twice at the one in front of us, and then I will I'll try and shoot the one that's trying to attack Smith, in the hope of, like, getting it off him or helping him with whatever he's doing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If I can split that
what's
way.
I presume it's also got 6 shots in the magazine, or is it 8?
Yes.
6? Okay, so these are the last 3.
So it is. Yeah.
Okay. Before you roll, so you have a penalty dice because the plane is currently not under control. Sam is getting into place.
Okay.
Additionally, I'm going to take off the point blank. I think when it's right up in your shit, you start minimizing... it loses value. It's attempting.
I mean,
keep the point blank. I'll just oppose you with riposte.
Okay. I mean, the other thing is I can take a few steps back.
It's trying to grab you. It's engaged.
Okay.
Leaving a
that's fine.
brawl is a full action to say you disengage and leave with it. So it's hounding you. I said narratively, you could be backing up into the corridor and it's following after you.
Yeah.
I mean, that gets it away
It's
from
in the
Sam.
fucking house.
Yeah. Yeah, Thor's having a real enthusiastic one.
He has managed to kick the mat out of my bathroom into my house, and I'm pretty sure he's
cat.
upside down underneath the cupboards, just
Okay.
God
going
bless.
at me. Yep.
That's for you. If you had one on an airplane, the skies above you, it'd be a disaster.
In that, yeah, I can't choose where to shoot after the fact, can I? Like, I can't go, I'm gonna shoot because it's rapid.
I have no idea.
Do you think you make sequential attacks? So
Yeah, I think you can. I think
Okay.
you can set them as you go.
I want.
All right, in that case, I'm gonna make 3 attacks. I will shoot the one in front of me, and if I have a spare, I'll turn around and try and
Okay,
shoot the
and do
one
one
in
because
front of
I'll riposte each one too. So,
Jim. Okay, first one.
would you like
That
to
is a
lie?
failure. No.
Okay, I'm in riposte.
Oh.
Okay, take 3 damage as you try and fire it. Rakes across your chest with its like claws.
Ow. Right, second shot at this one again.
Ooh.
Okay, no lucking.
No, not for this one. I'm not too far
It'll
away.
attempt to riposte once more. This
Ah.
time,
I
catch it.
didn't shoot. So that is. Sorry, I didn't roll the correct one, which is
All
on my
good.
combat, so we didn't get any damage. That is 7.
Okay,
To that
a
one.
big hit. It's not dead, but it's definitely wounded. And
Does
some of it is absorbed by armor.
Okay, cool. In that case, I apologize, Jim. I'm gonna try and take out this one. So
Okay.
third shot against this one. Another failure.
Ugh.
No, I'll have to go with it.
Okay, this time it lashes around as it goes, and one of its rear legs, massive hindquarters, just rakes across your own. Okay, that's actually gonna be a fumble for it. So as it moves across, it just slams across the other side and begins to scurry out and away. It looks to have taken enough damage that it is moving to retreat, for what it is worth.
Oh, good.
That's going to be Carter. On its turn, it is using its full turn to leave. It scrambles up over it onto the cockpit and goes to fire itself out the way it came and take to the skies. That is its turn. On the side of the plane, on the right-hand wing, one of them has its full tail wrapped around the entirety of the wing, and you see something twist, and a couple of the flaps begin to bend inwards and buckle, and then the other one stalking across towards the window where you are, Minnie, just turning back from strapping in Sam. You suddenly see an explosion of glass as this thing here Johnny's its face through the window and begins to scramble its way in. It is inside the plane, and that ends its turn. We go to Hubert. Hubert, you are held.
I'm in a bad way. Golf isn't working out for me. I'm unarmored. My club falls from my hand as I start getting scrambled out towards the edge of the plane. And then as my arms are floundering about, we go past my bag and my hand seizes around my trusty walking stick.
Hell yeah.
My hiking
Yes.
stick that's been with me through thick and thin, and there's a brand new hiking trophy at the top for some kind of Bolivian march that I got.
Hell
and I
yes.
seize it and I'm gonna jam it into this thing's face. I make an attack.
Can I get you to make a luck roll to see if the piece is at hand and with easy grabbing distance
All
as
right,
things are beginning
if
to
not-
fly through the air?
If not, I use the club that I have in my hand.
Oh,
Fuck.
My hand goes. I power around.
Well, it's because things are throwing around.
Yeah,
it goes
totally,
flying past.
totally.
You try and grab for it. It's just out of reach. It lands nearby. You could use your action to get it, but that would be you grabbing it out of the way. Currently, while you're
No,
being held.
do you mind if I just use the club? Because I
Yeah,
was
go for
gonna
it. Yeah,
just
of course.
swapping for flavor.
course.
All right. Take this, ye
Wait,
vile
are you
thing.
attacking or are you trying to break the hold?
I am attacking.
Okay.
That is a success.
All right. It's going to riposte. It's going to fail. Go ahead and deal your damage.
Ah. 5 damage this time.
Okay, nice. All right. It is a hit. It's rubbery and kind of bends in, and then you slam it down around the side again. You see one of the legs sort of buckle a little bit, and then as you hit it, you see something snake across the floor, and its tail begins to emerge up the other side from like underneath you. The flowers open, and it begins to move across you and almost caress across your torso.
Oh no.
It's worse. That's somehow worse.
Oh, it's way worse. All right. That is Mr. Smith's turn. Minnie.
I'm going to strap the lieutenant into a parachute.
You get the other one in front of you?
Just clunk, and I at the same time I can see what's happening down the back. I don't think we're landing this thing. I think we're bailing. They're pulling off the wings, and then I'm going to piss bolt to Hubert to do the same.
Okay, so you rush across to Hubert, so you'll be next to him when this ends. As you're going, Quentin.
I'll grab the other two. Two of the other. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so you've got the other ones from it, and you begin to rush across to actually strap them in. If you abandon the plane, which completely logical, totally up to you, the equipment will all go down with it. So that's the rest of it. You've got the
really
tech.
want that,
I get you. As you go across, Quentin looks up at you, will hear what you're saying, and he's going to, on his turn, you can see he's going for one of the parachutes, and he's holding on to one of the boxes. It looks like it got slammed against one of the walls or whatever, but he's holding it with him, so he's got something to carry. That said, we're going to go to Dr. Sam next.
That's me. I'm gonna land this plane.
God damn it, he's gonna try. All right, you get into seat. As there's this fight, as Carter's like firing at this thing, and it's, oh, you know, it fled. It went back the other way. It scrambles out for a moment. Your vision is obscured by this massive black reptilian thing that soars across, and then you begin to jerk on the controls. The whole thing's fighting you. The back one propeller's completely dead, smoke billowing from it. Every single one of the flaps isn't responding. You have to like kick it into gear as you're trying to wrench on the whole thing and bring it round. Do you want to go ahead and make the piloting roll? This is going to be hard.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd ask that.
I mean, if anyone can land something without any kind of engines, it is what's...
You keep saying stuff like that. That's what makes me nervous. I clicked it. Get it again.
I think it's just been slow.
Yeah,
Right down the middle.
Well done. That is a success. You
That.
do need a hard success for the full one.
Oh heck, that's a
Have you got 35
35 points of luck?
It's up to you. There's more rounds. So you are still not at ground level. You think you still might have time to pull this up. So you're sort of wrestling with it. You've diagnosed the issues. Additionally, with the success, there is no longer a penalty dice on actions. You've got enough control but you are still going straight to the fucking ground as you're trying to hold it and beginning to nose it up, but you don't know if you're gonna make it before you impact with the terrain.
I've heard that they're taking the wings off. Is that what I've heard?
Yes.
It's gonna. They haven't.
It's gonna be.
If they take out the engines, we can still. It's still landable.
Yeah.
We can
it's
coast.
the wings and the flaps that are yeah.
That's what they're going for? Where they're going
even
fast? They're going.
Even if they take out the flaps, we can if they take away the control, we can still land it. It's just gonna suck.
They're taking out the wings, the flaps, and the Hubert.
Yeah.
What do we got the plane that's
Hubert's
good?
a problem.
Everything. We've got all of our supplies. Everything that we need. So I would say try and land this thing up until the point that we need to bail, and then at that point we need to make a call as to, because there is,
even if you can get it to the point where it's going to crash, but we bail and then we come back to the plane and salvage what we can.
there is a minimum distance we require to jump and land safely, and I'm not going to recommend halo distance because that gets fucking dangerous. I'm pretty sure Carter might be able to manage that, but I don't think they've done a lot of them, and it's very dangerous. But there will be some kind of, we need to bail now in order for it to be safe. We need to bail now in order to be able to land at all, and then too late.
So the choice I've got here is keep the regular success. We stay at height for now, and the plane's still stabilized. Or spend 35 points of luck.
And begin and retake control and pull back up.
And get it closer to a safe landing, but then lose the height we need to parachute. Is that what I'm hearing?
If you get the hard success, you've got control, and you can pull it up, nose out, and you've got control of the plane once more. It's janky as hell, and you're gonna have to land the thing, but it is flying again. You're
Currently you're negating
You've still got the problem
penalties.
with all the things.
You know what? I'll leave it the regular success because I'm probably going to do better next turn.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
It'll cost me less luck to get the hard success next time.
Okay.
So I save the day.
All right. Champion. All right. No longer penalty dice on actions. So Quentin's the last. He straps himself into a parachute and holding the thing he's going to move as well to kind of be getting towards Hubert, but he's mostly prioritizing protecting whatever he's holding. Going to actions. So there's one on the left wing, which is beginning to stalk along it towards the entrance. Actually, as it gets there, you see it drop off for a moment. The wings flare, so it catches like the backdraft, and then it latches onto the rear and begins to pull itself onto the internal. And there is the one that is holding Hubert. Hubert, it is going to attempt to tickle you.
No.
Somebody's going to go ahead and roll this.
Nothing worse than mythos monsters that caress and tickle you.
It begins
Poor
to...
tickly.
Is tickling a ripostible action?
I don't know. I think you've been
I'll
seeing...
tell you what, Dave, you try to tickle me and we'll see if it is.
You know what, at that alone, I think you're right, Jim. Repulse the shit out of this nerd.
As someone who has been kicked in the head while tickling someone, yes, it is a ripostible action.
It's definitely
no
impossible.
pass anyway. We're all
Okay,
good.
this thing like drives across you, and for a moment you genuinely feel yourself. You seize up, your muscles tense in fright, and then it goes away. You're able to resist the attack for so far, but another one has just stalked in through the side. Okay, we're going back to the top. The thing is under control, so there is not going to be any more shit flying around.
Do?
Quentin has strapped himself into the parachute.
Started heading towards me.
And heading towards. We go back to the top with Carter. So there is there are two at the back. One is holding Hubert. There's another one that has just burst in through the center and is quite close to Minnie, who's moving around. And there is still one on each wing. No, there is not one on each wing. There is one on the right wing still, continuing to sort of like rip at it.
Okay. Are these still all within point blank, given the circumstances?
Not the ones. The ones with Hubert, you can get into point blank, but you'll have to get past the one in between. So you're in point blank with the one in the center. There is one in between you and Hubert.
The one in the center is near Minnie, yeah?
Yes.
Great.
It is
Minnie
within
doesn't
point
have Okay, great. Minnie doesn't have a parachute, so that's a problem. So I'm going to shoot
Well,
the
I've got
one.
one. I just don't have it on. I've got two in my hands.
So you're carrying
just
two.
I just don't have it on.
Don't worry, if any of us fall, Lancer will catch us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We're good.
I don't know that I have time to reload. So, because that is an action, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's always quicker to swap to your side.
Yes, I'm aware. I mean, I could try and tranquilize this thing. That's an option. Or I could run up. Yeah, and I do have I assume I have enough of what these darts.
Unless the plane explodes.
Yeah.
Why would you say such a thing?
An odd thing to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Curious.
I'm gonna try and tranquilize the one near Minnie.
All right. Is it like, do you just drop the first pistol and go for the second? Because it's already like leaning to a crouch, and because you've got it in the ankle holster.
I've got it in the thigh holster.
Yes.
The Mauser, I'll flip and slot back into it.
Sick.
Actually, I'm ambidextrous. I'll slot one and pull the other one out.
So tight.
Yeah, I'll still holster the Mauser, and for flavor, I'll pull the trank and my bayonet out. So if this doesn't work, then I'm gonna rush it, because I've only got the one shot. All right, so I'm just gonna roll handgun.
Yeah, it's gonna be handgun.
Come on, baby.
It is not happy today.
Motherfuck. Does not like me. Nope.
Okay.
It is a new weapon, and I am not
It fires, but it catches it in like the shoulder where there's enough rubbery mass that it just sticks in and doesn't penetrate enough to deliver the toxin.
Oh wait, point blank. Bonus dice, yes?
Yeah, take a bonus.
Cool. Because we're no longer 79.
6
What's
points.
that? 6 points? Yeah, you can have 6 points for that.
Okay.
Just,
All right, go ahead and roll a d4 for the damage.
okay.
Okay, so it's not going to deal damage. It does get through, so I'm going to make a Constitution roll. It goes through it, and whatever this thing is, it just isn't. It isn't. You don't know what this thing's physiology is. It's tendrils of the tail
Are most
flickers.
poisons and stuff like extreme successes, or are some of them hard?
This one also it didn't penetrate the skin fully.
Got it. Cool.
And also physiology. This thing's a fucking lizard guy. You can see the thing that's all twisted inside it. That is going to be your turn. We go now to that one has left. The one on the right. It's the one that's in between. It is going to lunge forward. So it's the one you just shot. And circles round, and then on all fours races across and bodies into Minnie. Minnie, do you want to dodge or riposte? Okay.
Dodge. I would like to try and slide under it. Very
what
cool.
is-
Like slide. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck yeah. Sorry. What is your build quickly?
Normal 0.
0? Okay, awesome.
Tiny person.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
yell
I cut
out,
you off. So
Minnie.
you just like go in like so you're holding it, you hear it coming, you just throw yourself to the ground and let it go over?
Yeah.
Sick ass.
Yeah. That's the goal.
That's the goal. Good start. All right, it goes to grab you. Fuck.
Nice.
All right, and it catches nothing as it lands on the other side, swings around, and it is still in between you and Hubert, but it has not
Are you
successfully
sure? Because
attacked.
that was not like a shoot.
It was behind you, leaping across. It's still engaged with you. You can head there. It'll just follow with you. All right, that ends its turn. Hubert, you're up.
I yell out Minnie, and then I swing at this thing. How dare it tickle me? I gotta get it off. I strike at it again with the club.
Go for it.
Failure. No dice today.
I'm going to riposte.
Oh.
I take 4 damage.
4 damage. I take it. Hubert has quite a bit of health, so I'm still looking okay at this stage.
All right, that
So
is
my
Hubert.
golf uniform is bloodied.
Minnie, you're up.
I'm gonna keep moving towards Hubert. Yep. I would like to
you can
accept. I guess
get there?
I would like to get him out of.
So you
That.
head up towards it. Back here, you can feel you can't hear anything over the roar of the winds that's buffeting through it. There are 3 of these things back here. One is holding Hubert, the other one is hounding you, and the third has just landed on the back and is clawing its way up.
Well, I've got a handgun as well, so I would like to shoot the one that's tickling Hubert.
Sick. So as you're closing the distance, you're gonna pull out the revolver and fire. You are going to have point blank. However, Hubert is being held by it, so that's going to cancel out. So it's going to be straight rolls. Would you like to fire 3 times, or do you want to just take a single shot?
A single shot.
Okay.
I'm not that good.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Oh.
that's a hit. Go ahead and roll your
Good.
damage.
Why didn't that roll the?
Genius.
So-
I yelled
Where am I? That is 1d8.
assuming you'll shoot me.
Oh. That's a pretty big hit.
Eek.
It is not killed, but it takes a significant enough damage, and as its turn ends, or as your turn ends and you close towards it, it releases Hubert. You can see it's still bleeding, trailing black blood. It leans to the back and then throws itself offwards, the wings open. It
Yes.
tumbles
Enough
down
for
the
it to be
way.
like, fuck this.
2 more, however, are still there.
That's okay,
And
that's okay.
as one leaves, they are both going to lunge forwards. So one's going to make a grab at Minnie, and the other one's going to make a grab at Hubert. Would you like to dodge or riposte?
Dodge.
Okay.
I will riposte mine.
Okay, go for it. Oh, holy shit.
Oh, Minnie.
Sick.
Bye.
I
Nope.
don't have I'm not going to turn that into a hard.
Okay,
they're trying to grab, right? So they do take 2 levels of penalty
Yeah.
die for me.
Yes. So it's going to try and grab you, Hubert. Already failed. No, that's not going to do it. Sorry, and another penalty because you're massive. That's a fumble. Great job, it. It tries to lead you, and it's only gotten closer to your reach. The other one, Minnie, you're able to create. You can straight up leave its zone of engagement. So now it's kind of at Hubert, but you are back and away in between everything. Quentin doesn't carry a weapon.
With the critical, would I have been able to get the parachute to Hubert
You can have tossed
as
it
part
to
of my
him.
dodge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. So it's not
and
strapped
can I
on, but you're
roll-
holding it.
Can I roll damage as part of my successful riposte?
Hell yeah.
That is going to be 6.
Oh, big hit. All right, awesome. That it takes it and does not look happy. They're on the ropes. Everyone's now holding a parachute at least. Quentin doesn't carry a weapon, and no one's currently engaged with anything, so he's not gonna help because he wouldn't help anyway. He heads back towards the cockpit, so he's away from this disaster. All right, at the top, Lieutenant Carter. Oh, sorry, did I skip you? Sorry, Sam, I skipped you, I think, right?
Oh yeah.
Perhaps.
Chance,
May I?
please. Yes, you may. I'd love it.
I'd land the plane. Another piloting roll, right?
Yeah,
to get
go
us
for
close
it.
to the ground, get us safe. That's that's the plan. That's a good plan.
That's the
isn't
dream.
it?
Technically closer.
Closer. What do you want? What's my goal
I
here?
need
What am
I need a hard success to bring this thing.
to land the plane?
To take full control. But
Okay.
currently, you're kind of it's still going down. You've just evened it out a bit.
Very good. All right. Well, yeah. I guess now's the time, right?
The alternative is you could push it.
Let's push it.
Because
Wait
then
till
you
the
can't lock
last
it.
minute, and you're pretty sure you'll catch the up breeze coming off the mountain.
Let's push it. Hard success is 35. That's pretty close to 33, which is a third, and that'll be my third roll, so I'm guaranteed to get it.
If
That's how
surely,
statistics
David,
works.
if you wait till the very last second, maybe it comes out from a hard to a regular success.
That's okay. I think it's time for 32 points of luck because it sounds like the situation is not dramatically improving with the monsters. Is that fair to say?
They're getting
Situation's
cleaned
not
up a
getting
little
better.
bit, but it just takes one of them throwing an investigator out of a plane to kind of ruin the day.
I'd like to land the plane before that happens.
Okay.
I think now's the
We've got
time to
parachutes
spend.
now. We're good. We're
There you
good.
go, parachutes.
You two aren't strapped in.
We've
I'll
all
say
got
you could do
parachutes.
one more. There is one more round, Jackson, before impact. So you could try again next round, and that will be literally the last minute.
The only problem with that then is we can't make the decision to bail at that point.
Yes.
So
I'll probably
got
it's
this.
it's fine. You can do it. It'll just be a roll, and you'll definitely. You've got the parachute, so it'll be reducing damage. You just might take some smack.
Thinking about the magic virus machine and my aircraft, I think I'd like to land the plane.
Okay.
32 points of luck, just
All
for
right.
you.
Just enough to pull the whole thing back. You level it out, and the thing begins to. It is now back completely under control as you race along the ground, and you can begin to zero in on where you can see the landing strip laid out before you. Beginning to level out and head down towards it, but these things are still on the goddamn wings. That's going to be you. We go back to the top, Lieutenant Carter. It levels out, so it's back under control, and you can see yourself going down. The ones on the wings, actually, as I said that. The last one on the wing is going to disengage and bail, but the two that are currently trying to grab Hubert and Minnie are going to do one more attempt to hold bodily.
wasn't the one that. Never mind.
There were two on the right wing and one on the left.
Got it.
The left went down the back, one on the right burst through the window, and the other one that was still attacking has bailed. It's out. There's only two left.
Great. Minnie is completely disengaged from the thing.
Yeah, and she
near
just
her,
went
isn't
split
she?
two when she did it.
Great. I'm going to run over to Minnie and I'm going to say, good work, Miss Sinclair, and I'm going to strap her into her parachute.
Click. Awesome.
I've got my handgun in one hand.
Recreate that wonderful shot you did in Borneo, is it Borneo we were in before?
No,
That's where we are now.
Bolivia.
Bolivia, sorry, yes. Recreate that wonderful shot you took in Bolivia and take one of these things' heads off, won't you? And I'll essentially
We're gonna
put
try.
myself in between her and the thing as a defensive
Sick.
thing. So I've got my
Knife out.
bayonet, but I'm giving her enough space to like get around me and shoot, so she's behind and protected. So strap her in and then defensive position.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. We go now to... Ooh, it's the one that's right between the two of you. You're in between now. It's going to lunge at you, Carter.
Great.
Would you like to dodge or riposte? It's going to attempt to seize you.
I will dodge,
Okay, go for it.
keeping myself as much as I can between it and Minnie.
Okay,
Success.
Nice.
You are just build 0, so it's a straight roll.
Oh no.
You dodge
Sorry.
out of the way, knife held, and it grabs you around the side. You are held by it now. Its front legs have gripped into like the roof, punching through steel plates, and it begins to haul itself backwards, holding you in its hindquarters and dragging you towards the door as the tap flashes along behind it. All right,
Bad news.
going to the top, Hubert. Not to the top, remotely. Continuing in the normal order, Hubert.
I would like to rush over and attempt to break the brawl between these two.
Okay, the other one comes
unseize
with you. It wants to join the fun. It thinks it's cool. Actually, it basically brings it. You are all at near the throwing off point.
Yeah.
It's bringing itself to you very politely. You want to give it a smack?
You're the
Can I make a combat maneuver to try and break it?
Sorry, yes, absolutely. It's
you
gonna be a
are the
straight
only
roll.
person without a parachute on currently.
Yes,
It's
don't
Paul.
worry.
If he
Lance,
jumps,
It's
he's
in
got
his
time to
pocket.
strap in and deploy it. It's Paul. It's fine.
So me making this combat maneuver against
Straight roll.
it, does it take okay.
Straight roll, and it will attempt to. It will attempt to dodge because it wants to not. It likes holding Carter and throwing them out of planes. It thinks it's neat. It thinks it's cool and good. Seems it's kind of sweet.
Regular success.
Backflip.
Get off! Get off!
It tries to it suddenly lifts Carter up onto the ground and tries to scramble along the roof and around you, but you're able to reach out, grab Carter, and as this one throws itself out of the plane, it's just enough for you to hold on to Carter, hold on to the rope or one of the bars, and be yanked backwards, but Carter is held free, pulled back into the plane, and this dives down. The final one, actually, it's not its turn yet. It is Minnie. This last one, there's one remaining, and it very much would like to chuck someone out of the plane. It is
Pop.
keen to do
I would
that.
like to shoot it.
It is engaged with you, but it's not grappling him, so I'm going to say you're not going to take the penalty. You'll have a bonus dice on this shot.
You. I'm not doing it on my combat things. Like we have the full roll.
Oh,
Whee!
that's a hard
Hard
success.
success.
All right,
Hard
go.
success.
That is going to deal 6 points of damage to it. This is one that Hubert whacked. That is not
Is
enough
it
to kill.
not- Is it not dodging /
No, it would have to throw itself prone for this one, so it just gets. It's not close enough to engage.
I'm popping it.
It's a hit. It is not enough to kill it, so he's going to get one more round. It's Carter and Smith. As you're holding, so Hubert, you're holding out, dangling down, holding Carter, who's just leeching the berries. For a moment, you all think you're safe. There's the last one, gets shot by Minnie, tumbles backwards, begins to fall, and then Balrogs Carter with the tail. Just suddenly at the moment, you see it whip up, wrap around Carter's ankle, and try and wrench them down after it and out of the falling plane. Carter, would you like to dodge or riposte?
Kick it off.
Yeah,
Kick it in the face.
I want to riposte, but I have a much better likelihood of dodging. So let's fucking stab it in the face.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Go for it. Okay, that's a success.
You can
I wanna lock
have-
at 2 points.
Yeah, you can have 2 point. Oh, hang on. How many is that for?
What?
14 points to bring it down. So wait,
21 to bring it down to an extreme. Yeah, you can have 2 points of luck for a
Okay.
hard success at minimum.
Lash out with the knife, and then it gives a yank. And as it tumbles, you're able to like the tail lashes around for a moment. And what's it look like? Do you like slash off the tail edge?
Well, let's
with
find out how much bloody damage I do to it
yeah.
first and
Having
foremost.
one of those tails as a trophy is pretty awesome.
All feathery.
No, actually, change my mind.
Just throw it
Out of play.
Never mind.
Okay.
Kind of gross.
7
That's
damage.
a lot of damage.
Oh,
Does it?
yeah, you
Is that has that already been damaged?
That's enough. Yes, it has been damaged. Previously. We
Does
just
it
shot
kill it?
It does not kill it, barely. But as it tumbles away, it's taken. It's bleeding out.
Great.
Basically,
What I would
you
like
can take
to
the
do-
tail off if you want.
No. I don't know if this is how these creatures work, but sorry, Dave, they do now. I'm gonna ram the bayonet down through its tail and like into the base of the plane, and like a newt or a salamander, it has to detach its tail to get away.
Oh, sick! Yeah, hell yeah.
So these things now have detachable tails. I think that's going to be worse for us, but
Like,
whatever.
grow back.
That's pretty
It's
sick.
bad for them.
Or
It
it's good
sucks to do it, but yeah.
Yeah.
And the tail's like left like wiggling, like the salamander thing you do, where it's like, no, eat me, I'm a worm.
Cool, bad, and I hate it. Awesome. This last one, please. And as Dr. Sam looks back towards you, coming in for the landing, everyone's breathing heavily and just hanging on in the door. Someone could reach up, but it's not automatic, so you have to actually wind the whole thing up. You lurch down again. Equipment's been thrown all throughout the interior, and you finally come in
I
for the
assume
landing.
some of it has flown
For sure,
out the
you've
back.
lost some.
Yeah.
There's been some travel.
That's
Did a
okay.
couple Christmas deliveries on the way over the village.
Yeah.
You finally come in for a landing, and Dr. Sam, the wheels gone, all the screeches and jeers a little bit, and you finally come to a stop, having successfully landed in North Borneo. Well done. What is everyone's
gone
immediate
worse.
reactions?
I guess, did we have time to strap in like before we actually hit ground?
Yeah, you did it with enough
Sweet.
time. You killed the last one. You go make a jump for the harnesses and strap yourselves back in.
The seatbelt sign's been switched off.
Well done, Sam. Who's injured? And I'm gonna unbuckle and start like checking on people and.
Minnie's probably got like blood trickling down her face from taking a knock from something about the cabin.
Sure. I can try some basic first aid on people, or I can.
It's nothing serious. It's okay. I think Hubert got
I'm fine. I'm going to like sit down very politely on one of the seats and catch my breath. Taking a bit of damage. I got a lot of health. I'm fine.
yeah,
Beefy boy.
big lad.
I have taken a nice gash across like the face or something like that. But no, I'm gonna just if it's a head wound, we'll just kind of go. If you feel sleepy, Miss Sinclair, I would like to know about it. Can you tell me? And I'm just gonna start the like making sure she doesn't have a concussion. Like, can you tell me what your
Definitely
name
don't
is?
feel sleepy. 100% don't feel sleepy. Couldn't think of anything I feel less like doing right now.
Good. Well, if that changes when the adrenaline wears off, you let me know.
Well landed, Doctor.
Excellent piloting, Sam.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, as long as you walk away, it's a good landing, eh?
Thank you,
Surgeon's
Sam.
hands.
I had utmost faith in you.
As you're talking, Shapiro, still clutching the box, stumbles out towards the back. The hatch still down. They're like dragged on the runways. He gets to the back and immediately vomits onto the ground. And then you can see him, like, so he's super white-faced, hands shaking. He slumps down, he's patting at his forehead. And then you can see him begin to click the straps of whatever it was that he was protecting. As he begins
I'm
to
gonna-
open it,
So, what
over.
is that? I'm gonna
as you all gather around towards it, you sort of head down. You see him click
ditch
it
the
open.
parachute. Bonk.
You'll see him open it, and he lets out a gasp. You'll see there's a from a falcon as swooping just over the thing comes, lands it returning, and just behind him a Humvee landing, and stepping out comes a group of British soldiers who begin to head over towards you and introduce themselves. But what we'll leave it on is the device, which Quentin has revealed from inside the box. It looks to be a sort of twisted chrome thing with a number of modified wires all around it, and it's clearly taken a heavy dent at some point during the landing and is now very slowly and very dramatically going and seems to be visibly
Shapiro?
counting down.
I
Quick.
What is
really
that?
hope that's not a bomb.
That's well, that's the contingency, and
Oh, I'm
I'm
What?
afraid our timeline's been brought up, and we're gonna need to get on with things very quickly. I believe, and it goes. We have about 24 hours, and that's what we're gonna leave the session on. Welcome to North Borneo. Please enjoy your stay.
Oh, okay.
Hot diggity dog.
and Minnie's behind him, just going, I'm gonna.
Oh, don't worry. Carter.
And there was a shared look of.
There's probably not exasperation. I would say cold fucking murder in the eyes of Carter right now, but not going to say anything.
Rock and roll. All right.
24 hours, we can do that. That's a TV show. It's fine.
Piece of piss.
I got this. This is why I trained. You put me up at the top of that mountain and you give me one driving iron. I'll get it out of here.
I cannot wait for you to kill the big bad or whatever with a driving iron.
With a 9-iron.
Hot. All right, awesome. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you all for playing. I failed
you,
to
Dave.
chuck you out of a feckin' plane, but I'll get you next
I
time. You
know.
bastards.
I know.
We will return. There is much more adventure afoot here in the Pulp Cthulhu, the Two-Headed Serpent campaign. So make sure you come and join us next week when we return.
Please do.
Catch you shortly.
And then the week after,
We're at
don't
PAX.
come and join us when we return. Come see us at PAX.
It's true.
Oh yeah, because we
Or,
will not be on that week as well. So next week will be, I guess, the last session for this chapter. Will return the week following, but there will be a 1 week break as we're at PAX. So yeah, see you soon.